It's given me so many opportunities to travel all over the place, all over North America. So many experiences, people I've met, connections, jokes, funny moments, all great moments, goosebumps, everything. It's a great experience. It's a blessing.
Welcome to episode 335 of Alberta Dugout Stories, the podcast. I'm Joe McFarland. Back to our regular routine of Thursday rollouts for the show and back to providing you with some of the big news headlines from the past week. Let's get to it, starting in the pros. And the big news of the week is the call-up of former Okotoks Dawgs star outfielder Jacob Melton. The Houston Astros' second-round pick in 2020 has been climbing up their depth charts, and on Sunday finally got his big league call-up, getting the start in center field, where he did this.
The family scrambled to get here from all parts of the country for his debut. This one is knocked down by the second baseman, Lau. Safe at first base. There is the first big league hit for Jacob Melton, an infield hit on a close play at first.
That was a range of emotions. Congratulations to Jacob Melton.
Melton was part of the 2019 Dawgs Championship squad. One of his teammates from that season, Tristan Peters, had himself an absolute week himself. And it all started on Sunday when he did this.
Taylor's pitch to Peters is hit in the air high and deep to right field. To the corner goes Torres. At the wall. He's out of room. Home run. Tristan Peters.
Later in the game, this happened.
Graceffo's pitch powered out to right. Torres to the track. Tristan Peters, his second homer and fourth extra base hit of the game. Career day for Tristan Peters. 12 total bases, 2 doubles, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs.
And for good measure, on Monday, he decided to do this.
Needed second by Seymour. Swing by Peters. Well struck ball right field. Pintar back. Goes and looks up at the hole. And it's gone. Tristan Peters powers one against the new building. The hall and straightaway right. It is possible in this stadium. And Peters, white hot, torrid hitting continues for the Bulls.
All told, he went 6 for 6 with 3 home runs and 8 RBI in those 2 games. The Dawgs Academy alum also went 1 for 2 with runs scored and 2 walks on Wednesday. He was named the Canadian Baseball Network's Minor League Player of the Week as well, and will probably get some more accolades before too long. A few other notes to pass your way from the pros. Calgary's Michael Soroka picked up his second win of the season last Saturday in an 11-7 Washington victory over Arizona. He'll likely be back on the hill in the upcoming series with Texas. Edmonton's Eric Sabrowski is back on the mend. The Absolute Human Performance alum started a rehab assignment in the Arizona Complex League with the Guardians, making 2 relief appearances, allowing no earned runs and no hits with 1 strikeout in 1 inning of work. Vauxhall Academy alum Adam Macko continues his rehab as well with the Florida Complex League Blue Jays. He had a start on Monday, allowing 1 run on 4 hits and no walks while striking out 6 in 4 innings of work. And lastly, a big shout out to Innisfail native and Sylvan Lake Gulls alum Nathan Flewelling as he did this over the past week.
To convince MLB of something, or did you think it was...
Llewellyn towards the corner. Hey, it's gone. Nathan Flewelling belts his first pro homer, and it leaves in a hurry. Hugs the right field line. River Dogs back on the board. The deficit is sliced to 2.
Flew is now hitting .192 with a home run and 17 RBI in 40 games while playing some great defense behind the plate. Let's get closer to home now, and the Western Canadian Baseball League season is underway. As mentioned during the season preview extravaganza episodes, we won't get into all the wins and losses for each team. I do have a couple of bigger picture things to highlight, though. Number 1, offense is reigning supreme in the early going. Scores of 19-16, 14-10, 11-10, and many others. It's kind of making the NFL jealous, to be honest. A few errors and rough pitching performances aside, I'm sure it'll sort itself out in due course. Number 2, the attendance is off the charts. Okotoks saw over 7,100 for their opening day on Saturday. Medicine Hat had a capacity crowd on their opener. Sylvan Lake was great as well, despite some rain. Other barns are doing well. We did see some smoke delays, though, with wildfires in both provinces. Hopefully we get some rain, so most importantly, people can get back into their homes if they've been displaced. It'll also help clear up any lingering smoke issues, plus help our farming friends. Just be sunny for game time, though. And some sad news from the league this week as Regina pitcher Jesse Lubinecki passed away in a tragic car crash. The Regina native was coming home from college in California when his vehicle rolled in Montana. The Red Sox will sport a patch bearing his number 33 for the rest of the season. Our love and thoughts to everyone who knew and loved Jesse Lubinecki. One more note from the WCBL as the much-anticipated Rural Roots Classic is a go for Oyen on Sunday. The game will feature the Sylvan Lake Gulls and Lethbridge Bulls as the league pays tribute to the 30th anniversary of the Oyen Pronghorns winning the Saskatchewan Major Baseball League title. I'll be part of the broadcast on Sunday. Make sure to follow the WCBL on all of the platforms for more information on that, and we will have a full story and podcast recapping the event next week. To the Baseball Alberta Elite League now, where the Parkland Twins are reigning supreme right now at 15-6. The Red Deer Rangers sit second at 12-7, while the Calgary Bucks are nipping at their heels at 11-5. Congratulations to the Saskatoon Giants and all other winners on claiming their respective championships at the Doc Plotsky Tournament in Sherwood Park over the weekend. It was an action-packed event with teams from all over Alberta and Saskatchewan taking part in 11U right up to 18U. On the college commitment front, a trio to pass your way. AHP Academy product Austin Wrighton is heading to Benedictine University at Mesa. Babe Ruth Calgary Premier Blues product Keaton Dickey is joining Minnesota North State College, and one we missed from a couple of weeks ago with all that's been going on, Robert Scalzo of Dawgs Academy is signing on with Central Arizona College. It's induction weekend at the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum, plenty of events happening, and then it's induction day on Saturday. Congratulations again to Jose Bautista, Eric Bedard, Greg Hamilton, and the families of Amanda Asay, Arlene Noga, and Jerry Snyder. If you can't make it to St. Mary's, head back to episode 317 of this show to hear some of the highlights from that initial announcement. On to this week's guests now, and we'll head back to the WCBL, where the Medicine Hat Mavericks have been the talk of the town so far. They started off 5-0 and are now 6-1, scoring 83 runs in those 7 games, thanks in large part to the play of some of their veterans. One of them is hometown kid Evan Morrison, who had a homer in their opening day win over Okotoks and hasn't really slowed down. He's hitting .333 with 2 homers and 8 RBI in those 7 games. The Hastings College sophomores coming off a season where he hit just .174 with 6 RBI in 30 games for the Mavs, so he felt he needed to up the ante. And thanks to working with his uncle, owner Greg Morrison, he's realizing his new role for the WCBL squad.
Evan, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
What a start to the season for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. What's it like being in the clubhouse right now after 5-0 beginning to the 2025 summer?
I mean, it's amazing. It doesn't get much better than that, and the boys are just hype right now. We just want to keep taking it one game at a time, see how many we can win here, and hopefully get to that championship that we want.
Looking at it, high arching, what's led to the success early on so far?
I think you got to credit our new head coach, JT. He looks to have fun. That's all he looks for, and everybody's kind of bought in on that. And we're just here to play ball, and it's been all coming together so far.
You are one of the few veterans returning from last season. Are you noticing much of a difference between the two squads?
Last year we definitely had a good team as well, but this year the chemistry just, I feel like, clicked instantly, and I have to kind of take on a different role as I had last year, and I've just kind of tried to embrace that so far, and everything's just been going our way. So yeah.
What's the role in your eyes, and how has that changed?
I wouldn't say necessarily a leader, but in ways, like, you kind of have to show the guys, like, how to go about things, and it's easy when you're winning. We haven't experienced much losing yet, but I think they're all pretty smart guys too. Like, they know how to handle the mental side of the game, but having those returners on the team kind of helps them, be like, okay, these guys don't give up, and like, we can really do this.
Mm-hmm. how much of an influence is your uncle in the grand scheme of maybe helping you see that new role or that adjusted role?
Yeah, before the season started, I was kind of working with him a bit, and he'd tell me, you got to take on this a little bit more of a leadership role this year. So he kind of got me mentally prepped for that beforehand, and I just kind of went into it, just having fun.
Whether it's a Tyler Vanesti or the Volcano brothers, or I know Micah Dvorak's on a bit of a roll as well. Yeah. Is it a matter of some of these guys just getting a year older, a year wiser? I mean, yourself included in that, is knowing the game, knowing the town, knowing what's kind of expected of you?
Yeah, I think that's a huge part, the first year, for me especially, is just like a learning curve. You got to get used to the atmosphere. My whole life, a lot of these guys too, you don't play in front of crowds of 1,000 plus or whatever. So it's a different atmosphere, and you just you got to block those out and just know you're playing the game. It doesn't matter where you are. You just got to play the game how you play it, and things will fall into place from there.
How cool was it to see a jam-packed athletic park on opening night last Wednesday?
Oh man, it was electric. That was just everything I wanted in an opening day. Playing the reigning champs, having a barn burner of a game, and ending it with a walk-off. It doesn't get better than that. And the fans were just cheering super loud, and they always got our back. So I love the support.
I'm sure you probably would like to do without having a 5-run top of the ninth scored against you in that game. But I mean, like you said, Wilde game, kind of what you almost expect out of the first couple of weeks as you get your bearings about you as a team before things really settle in. Yeah,
you just we're all feeling it out still, and it's good that this is the kind of baseball we're playing while we still really don't know each other yet. We're not super connected yet as a team, but I think it's going to start rolling, and we're really going to start playing better baseball than what we've already played.
Mm-hmm. Heading into this summer, did you have any goals or expectations of yourself?
Yeah, I definitely expected a lot more for myself this year than last year. Last year, it just didn't go how I wanted it to go personally. I just had a slump all summer. I felt like trying to change things up. This year I just came in, told myself, you can do this. You know what kind of ball player you are, and I just go out there and have fun and shut my brain off and try to put on a show for the fans.
You've done that in spades so far. What's it going to take, in your eyes, for the Medicine Hat Mavericks to be champions in 2025?
I don't think we got to change much right now. I think we don't got to think too much about it, and it's just taking it one game at a time. Like I said, our head coach, he's really good at reminding us, today's a new day. We're 0-0 on the day, and we just got to go take this one. And everybody's calm, cool, and collected right now. Nobody's freaking out when we're losing, and it's just awesome. I think everybody has that grind mindset that you want, and I think that's going to take us pretty far.
What would it mean to you to bring home the championship?
I mean, it would mean everything. Hometown, obviously with the Tigers going so far too, it'd be great to have Medicine Hat just winning all year. And I don't know. I think it's a feeling you got to kind of experience before you kind of imagine what it feels like.
For sure. A couple of fun ones here before we let you go. First off, how'd you get into baseball in the first place? I always love asking that question about the origin story, because a lot of Canadians, they love their hockey, they love their football. How'd you get into baseball?
Yeah, my family is very hockey baseball, and I just never ended up getting into hockey, and they put me into T-ball early, and I just loved it as a little kid. I just loved hitting that ball, and from there I just kept on playing. Obviously my uncle, he's a big baseball guy, so I've just been around it my whole life, and luckily I've loved it on my own. I haven't been made to love the sport, so it just makes it that much better that I love it and my family loves it, and I just have a lot of support around me.
Any favorite memories or moments on the field where you had to take that step back and go, man, I can't believe I get to do this?
I mean, it's got to be that opening day home run I just hit the other day. That was crazy to me. I felt like I blacked out around the bases. It was just a great feeling, amazing feeling.
I can only imagine. A couple more for you. When those young kids are coming up to you after a game and they're asking, how do I get to where you're at now? They're just starting out on their baseball journeys. What kind of advice or words of wisdom you like to impart upon them?
Always have fun. Just remember, play like you're a little kid on the diamond, no matter how old you are. And don't think too much. Thinking is the worst thing you can do in this game. So just don't think too much and just go play.
Just go have fun. Love it. Last question. It's one we ask everybody here on the show, Evan. What does the game of baseball mean to you?
It means everything. I don't think if I don't have baseball in my life right now, I don't feel like I have anything. It's been everything for me for the past 20 years, and I just want to keep playing as long as I possibly can and just keep having fun. Keep having fun.
Fantastic stuff. Well, really appreciate the time, Evan. Congrats on all the success to this point and to this point in the season. Best of luck the rest of the way with the Mavericks and beyond. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it a lot.
Next up, we introduce you to a brand new segment. Ian and I were at Media Day for both the Sylvan Lake Gulls and Okotoks Dawgs recently, and given that we want to be at more games this summer, we thought we'd do something different this season. We're calling it In the Dugout. Kind of like our quick hit conversations for the WCBL Season Preview Extravaganzas, we'll bring you one or two of them every week. We'll start things off in Sylvan Lake, where Ian tracked down hurler Hunter Jones. The Edmonton native went 3-0 with a 3.53 ERA in 12 games last summer and is hoping to play an even bigger role in 2025.
Andre, you're making the exhibition start tonight. I don't want to go too deep into your expectations for tonight, but how's it feel to be back at Gulls Field and just soaking up the sun a bit?
It's a pretty surreal feeling coming back to Sylvan every summer. Last summer I think it was the greatest summer of my life, so I'm hoping to either repeat that or make it better than last summer. But tonight, this is back-to-back years I have to start against the Riggers in the exhibition game. So hopefully I can give 2 to maybe 3 good innings, just getting ready for the weekend. We go down to Fort Mac immediately, which isn't always fun, but oh well. Yeah. So today is obviously like a get back into the roll of things, but I'm always going to have that mental, compete, go do your job, So hopefully I can put on a show for the fans and the team, and I have goals for myself, so I hope I can reach those by the end of the season.
Can you share some of those goals with us?
Yeah, absolutely. The first one, win. I want the ring to be in the championship in Sylvan, but for me, this is my 4th season with the Gulls, and I'm yet to be an all-star. So hopefully I can do that. That's a goal this year. Obviously, more strikeouts than walks. Keep the walks to a minimum. If I can keep it under 15 on the season, that would be like 5 stars. That's amazing for me. But if I can keep the walks down, I know my strikeouts will be there, but it's always 9 versus 1. So I'll let the boys behind me do their jobs as well. But those are my 3 goals: win, all-star, strikeouts over walks.
Give me the scouting report on Hunter Jones. What's your arsenal? What's the go-to pitches?
So I got 4 pitches: fastball, changeup, slider, curveball. I love the changeup. I'm a naturally pronated. Supernating's quite difficult because of how pronated I am, but that helps me play with my changeup. You want to pronate on it, so I just throw it like a fastball and it does its job. Curveball, more of a get me over, kind of just throw it in for a strike, but obviously if I want to bounce it, throw it in the dirt, I can command it there. Slider, it's been a struggle, but I think I figured it out now. The slider's always been something that, because it's a lot of supination, it's been tough for me, but I think this is the summer where it'll excel in my arsenal. But mostly fastball, changeup, but I throw the kitchen sink at them, so I'll pitch backwards from the get-go if need be.
You're an Edmonton guy. Are you an Oiler fan?
Absolutely, go Oil all the time.
Good stuff. So you're going to be pitching while they're playing. Are you going to be getting updates to the dugout, or
maybe? Usually, last year in the Stanley Cup playoffs, we'd in between innings, the game would be up on the jumbotron. So hopefully they can give us some updates. I need the Oil to win. We need to bring one to Canada finally.
Yeah, awesome. Let's talk a little bit about the big rivalry was Okotoks last year. I assume that's the big rivalry this year for you. Was there anything you learned from just playing Okotoks so much last year and over the years from what they've been able to do?
Yeah, absolutely. Being from Edmonton, I've been playing against Okotoks since probably I was like 12 years old, but so I've always had my personal beef with them, but obviously it's like all the respect to them. They're a great club. Everything about them's great. They got a great facility and stuff, but it's always very competitive playing against them. You know, some emotions may fly out there. It's always a goal of mine to keep the emotions tucked away during the game. You know, if I'm not playing, then it can come out, but if I'm pitching against them, like the first time through the lineup, coaches and pitchers, like that's what you learn from. Yeah. So depending on how I pitch them then and the result, then, you know, look at the scouting sheet and everything that we have, learn how to pitch against them the next at-bats. But every game has always been a great competition with them, and I've learned a lot, just like even like being a hitter, watching pitches come in, and then also being a pitcher, how hitters react to your pitchers. Like I'll ask our hitters if I ever face them, like, what does it look like coming from your angle against me? So obviously I can't go ask Okotoks what it looks like hitting against me, but yeah, I've learned a lot just from pitching against them, how certain pitches should move against certain swings, certain stances. Baseball's a lot of science nowadays, so learning all of that, I do give a lot of credit to Okotoks for helping me excel in my baseball career.
It's fun to hear you talk about that, because a lot of people, hey, it's summer ball, you know. Clearly it matters to you how things end at the end of the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. Summer ball for me, and absolutely for the three coaches and the team that Chatty puts together, we don't bring guys out here just to get reps in and play summer ball. Like we want to win. Like it's just, we want you to take this as serious as your school season down at whatever university or college you're at. But obviously, like if you get hurt or something, we want you ready for your school season. You don't want to re-injure yourself out here. So there is a difference between summer ball and college ball, but the same competitiveness and intensity should be there.
Talk to me about your school and your college situation. Where are you coming from, and how did it go for you this year?
So I was down in Los Angeles at California State University of Los Angeles. It's a Division II in the CCAA. Unfortunately, when I transferred right after New Year's, so I was ready for a big season. It was going to be great, you know, hopefully get some looks at me, and then the NCAA or the school couldn't clear me to compete. And it wasn't it wasn't grades or anything. They just, and every time I asked for an update, they were like, oh, we're so close. So I was just a warrior in practice, live on live. So that's what I was doing all season. But so this,
saving your good innings for the summer.
All my innings are ready for the summer, so I'm ready to go. Awesome. I've been itching to get back on the field, so this will be fun for me.
A few fun ones. Favorite ballpark food?
Oh, probably a hot dog, especially a Dodger dog over at Dodger Stadiums. I mean, both ends of the hot dog are hanging out of the bun, and it's just it's like nostalgia kind of. You get that ballpark feeling, and then you got to pay like $20 for a drink, but ballpark prices, you know.
Yeah. What are you putting on that hot dog?
Just ketchup. I used to be a big relish, mustard, everything. Like I'd put everything on it, but now it's just straight ketchup, and that's the way to go for me.
Got to stay away from Gavin Galenza then. He's just a mustard guy.
Really? So, like if you marinate like a brisket in that, I'll eat it. Obviously, like it's amazing. But hot dog just straight ketchup.
Yeah. Favorite baseball movie?
See, it's close between Sandlot. Like I have a quote from it tattooed on me.
Okay. What's the quote?
It's when Benny says, "This is baseball. Stop thinking and have fun." Nice. It's just a nice little reminder.
Yeah.
And then Major League.
Yeah.
That's the other
Good
one.
choices.
Those two are my mom every night. Yeah. She's like, "We should watch Major League." We're like, Bull Durham. I'm like, "Mom, we've watched these movies so many times."
And then favorite ballpark that you've either been to as a fan or played at?
So, been to as a fan, I'd probably say Angel Stadium. I like seeing that waterfall out in left center. I think the vibes are always good there. And then stadium I've played in, I would either say Cal State Fullerton was sweet.
Yeah.
Or I would say Kent State. It was an all-turf field in Cleveland, and it was like that turquoise-ish type of green.
Okay.
and like it's surrounded by big evergreens. Like it's one of those fields that are on social media that your jaw just drops.
Awesome.
It's amazing.
Awesome. Last question for you. I know you got some pitching to do tonight. Prediction time. This can be a prediction either about your season, the team season, or just go random throughout the WCBL. Just hit me with your hot take for something that's going to happen this summer in the WCBL.
I'd like us to break our previous season's record of regular season wins and set a new President Trophy record. So I predict with the guys, obviously, like today will show, like I haven't seen really any of the guys play yet, but from the vibes in the clubhouse and everything, I think that's a goal as well. I'd like to add that one to the list. But for the league, I'd like to see Saskatoon excel.
Okay.
I want to see them do well. I got family out there, and bringing baseball to that town it's a great thing for the city. You know, it's usually pretty quiet over there. They used to have the Blades. I don't know if they're still there or not.
Yeah, they got the Blades and the Rush, same ownership group. They've loaded up this season too. They got some good arms from Swift Current and Fort Mac this summer, so it should be fun to watch the team in purple.
Absolutely.
Again.
Don't sleep on the WCBL. Everyone talks about the West Coast League and all that, but we got some dogs over here as well.
In Okotoks, I had a quick chat with Dogs catcher Lou Anderson. The Quebec native and Dogs Academy alum hit .275 with 3 homers and 20 RBI in 29 games last season, then saw some big-time moments for the Dogs in their push to repeat the three-peat. He entered the season hoping to take some of the workload from graduating catcher Caleb Lombard and got the start in the season opener against Medicine Hat. However, he hurt his hand on a swing, so was waiting to hear how long he might be out for when we caught up in the dugout.
Lou, first off, talk about the excitement of getting back on the field, getting back here in Alberta, getting back in home, close to home, and suiting up for another season of summer ball here in Okotoks.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. Going back from school where it's like kind of a smaller environment and you don't get many fans, and coming back here, playing in front of the crowd is going to be awesome. And then I'm excited to go for another championship.
What makes this community so special in your eyes?
Just like how much they care, how much the fans care. Like, obviously, year in, year out, like, we get the best attendance in basically North America. So, like, you can tell people care about this place, and it's just fun to play in front of them and for them.
Mm-hmm. You get to maybe play a bigger role. I'm sure there's been conversations had between you and some of the other catchers with Caleb gone.
Yeah.
Was that kind of an expectation walking in this year that, hey, we got to take the ball and roll with it a little bit?
Yeah. Well, obviously I knew Lombard was leaving, so I'm expecting to have a little bit bigger role. Took his number this year too, kind of carry on Lombard's legacy. But no, I'm excited. We'll probably, I think there's 4 of us this year. We'll probably be splitting time, but man, whatever the team needs to win, I'll be there.
What did he mean to that group as you're a young cat, especially as an academy guy, getting to watch a guy who was, I'll call him the consummate professional that way, right?
Yeah.
What did he provide for you young catchers as you're making your way up and wanting to be in that position one day?
Oh, he meant a lot. I first met him, I was in grade 12, and obviously I'm this 17-year-old kid, and he's already pretty old, but just like kind of saw him as a mentor, and just the way like I call my games is based a lot on how he did it, and then just having a older figure kind of being there and someone that's been there before, that's played in front of these fans for years. It's awesome to have. I'm excited to take over and kind of hopefully do the same thing for the younger catchers.
For sure. As a guy who went to the academy first here, what's it like? You know, you go from being the guy selling 50-50s on the concourse to the one who everybody's cheering for. That's got to be kind of a surreal feeling.
Oh yeah, no, it's awesome. Like, obviously, I kind of grew up watching all these guys play, and then being on the same field as them just feels surreal. It's an unbelievable experience. I'm excited to be back and to have this feeling again.
For sure. I love getting into the baseball past a little bit. How'd you get into the game in the first place?
Like baseball?
Yeah, like just when you were a young kid, like who got you into it? And do you remember that moment kind of thing?
Yeah, my best friend, I grew up playing hockey, and then my best friend that introduced me to hockey kind of just was like, hey, like, obviously there's no hockey in the summer when you're that young. He's like, I'm playing baseball if you want to join. My dad's coaching, and then he kind of got me into it. And then his dad has been my coach when I go back home for 15 years now. So like, he's the one that got me into baseball.
Looking back on the young career to this point, any favorite memories or moments where you just had to take that step back and go, man, I can't believe I get to do this?
Yeah, no, by far, well, I think I have two. Obviously, winning last year was by far the best like baseball memory I have. And then the other one I would say was we're playing Lethbridge Game 3, and I didn't play that game, got to pinch it at bat and hit a double down the line, and then I got pinch ran, and Ricky ended up getting a squeeze bunt down to win the game and go play Sylvan in the semifinals, I guess. So that was probably my two biggest moments I've had ever playing baseball.
Very cool. A couple more for you before we let you go. Yeah. First off, what would it mean to you to win another championship? I know you got one, but how driven are you for two, and what would that mean to you?
Oh, it'd mean a lot. That's one of the main reasons I came back. Obviously, like, this is the best place to play in summer baseball, but just might as well go for 4. We've done 3, like 3-peat's cool, but no one's ever done 4, so it'd mean a lot for the program and for this team to go and win another ring.
Do you guys feel any pressure in the room?
Not as much as pressure, more like a target behind our backs. Like the coaches kind of touched on it in our preseason meeting, but everyone wants us to lose. Like the whole league, the WCBL executives and the coaches, every other team just wants us to lose. They don't want to see the Dogs win again. They want to see some change, but we're not about that. We'll go and compete every day and go win another championship in late August.
Final question for you. It's when we ask everybody, what's game of baseball mean to you?
It means everything. Like, obviously, I've been playing baseball for almost 16 years now. It's like I moved from Quebec all the way to Alberta as a grade 12 to play baseball. Like, I lived with my host family and moved away from home, didn't see my parents, my friends, I've been away from home for 4 years, so it means everything. Like, being able to play the game I love in front of these fans, but also being able to go to school and get a degree playing baseball, it's awesome. Like, I'm grateful for that opportunity that not a lot of people get to experience in their life.
For sure. Well, Lou, really appreciate the time. Congrats on all the success to this point, continued success here in Okotoks and beyond. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And we'll wrap things up this week with a young man we haven't chatted with since January of 2021. We first introduced you to Airdrie's Evan Wilde after his outstanding, albeit shortened 2020 season with Cloud County Community College. He pitched with the Sylvan Lake Gulls in the abbreviated 2021 campaign, even being part of the team's first combined no-hitter. Then he went to Niagara University, aiming to be a big part of their rotation. However, he missed the 2023 season after undergoing Tommy John surgery. Wilde admits he struggled coming back and weirdly found himself becoming a first baseman to finish out his collegiate career. He hit .250 with 6 homers and 17 RBI in 29 games for the Purple Eagles. We talked about the whole journey, his transition to not being a pitcher, and what might be next for the newly graduated utility man.
Evan, thanks so much for joining us back here on the show.
Thanks for having me.
I think your Instagram post kind of says it all, doesn't it? It started as a pitcher, finished as ... not a pitcher. Tell us a little bit about that transition.
Yeah, it's not exactly what I was expecting, for certain. You know, so I'd just played with the Riverhawks the last summer, just as a pitcher, and I really didn't have any thoughts about hitting again until it was the end of the summer, and we got pitcher's BP one time in Nanaimo, because we had just thrown a shutout. You know, that's how it works. So we were hitting pitcher's BP. We got 2 rounds of 4 pitches or something. So and that's after not swinging a bat for since TJ. And then I just remember hitting. I didn't even hit that many that well out of those 8 pitches, but I hit one that was just a line drive up the middle, and it felt like it came off the bat at 120, and I was okay, like maybe like, I didn't really have much to say about it because, pitcher's BP, but I was like, all right, well, maybe that was interesting for sure. And then fast forward to, our open field time in Niagara. And like, it's like before school starts in August, the field's just open. Guys will go out and hit, throw, whatever, just hang out a bit before like official practice starts. And like, I'm out there and one of our guys, Vinny Morrow, is like, people he was hitting with were just leaving. He wanted to hit a little more. So he was like, if you want to like come hit a little bit. And then like, I get to get some swings and then he gets some help picking up the baseballs, a little mutually beneficial arrangement. Right. And then like, I just ended up like, I was hitting him like out to center field and hitting him like off the scoreboard. And Vinny's like looking at me. He's like, we might need to like talk to Spat about this. Like, And I was like, yeah, maybe, honestly. But, I hadn't seen live pitching since JUCO and Cloud, so it had been a while. And then, like, next day, it's kind of the exact same deal, except our coach, Spatty, is, like, just pulls up at the field right as I'm hitting, and he, like, sees me, hitting some taters out there, and he's like, yeah, that was your tryout, like, you're in. I was like, all right. Sounds good to me, boss.
Did you ever expect it to become a thing, though? Like, I assume when that first happens, you're like, okay, I'm going to get, a couple of at-bats here and there. Not like, hey, you're going to get a lot of actual starts and a lot of actual at-bats in games here.
No, yeah, right. I was like, at first it was just like in the fall, I was like, okay, well, I'll just have some fun swinging the bat. Like, it's fun, like I'm just pleased to be here type deal. And like my focus was certainly on pitching at that time. And then, obviously, at the end of the season, I literally, like, I didn't even pitch. I was literally just playing first base. So that was in like our fall scrimmages and stuff. Like, yeah, I would play first too, just because we kind of needed a guy to fill that spot, anyways. And I was totally game. I like playing first. Played first all of high school, obviously. I played it at Cloud. If you look at the statistics, Gilly liked to use me as a defensive replacement over there. So I think I had 4 at-bats, but I think I had somewhere near 20 innings at first base.
Oh, jeepers.
So it was he'd throw me in there for the 8th and 9th inning. Anyways, yeah, so I don't know. I was just having fun swinging the bat again, and then, I guess, like, our starting first baseman, at least at the beginning of the year, he ended up getting injured, which... it's not exactly the way you want to find time in the field is by one of your teammates going down. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. It's really, but he'll come back strong next year. Sure of it. Great player. But either way, that his little misfortune there led to me getting some playing time at bats and starting at first base at the end of the year. And I guess I made the most of it. So
sure did.
Had a lot of fun for sure.
Sure did. Looking back on it, I want to go back to the first homer. You had 6 on the season. What was that moment like for you?
Honestly, I really couldn't believe it, to be honest with you. I knew it right off the bat, too. Like, I was still probably maybe the last one at Canisius, but that was probably the one that I hit the best as well. I don't know. I was just out there trying to have fun and, like, be aggressive, obviously. I struck out a lot that series, I won't lie. I did. I still struck out like a pretty decent amount over the course of the year, honestly, but maybe we can chalk that up to just not seeing pitching for a long time. But I definitely felt like I started to adjust on a, I don't know, gradual incline throughout the year. Just kept getting a little bit better. That first one was that was special. I remember, like, after I was thinking, like, well, like, nobody can take that away from me now, I've at least hit one. So.
And then you end up with 6 in the end. You mentioned the word fun. I'm curious, how much fun were you having out there trying something completely different and not exactly on the path that you were kind of expecting when you first landed at Niagara?
Yeah, that's... The end of this last season, that was the most fun that I've ever had playing baseball, for sure. And I think a large part of that comes from just the frustrations of, my first year at Niagara. I had tied the program record for starts with 15 starts, and then obviously I ended up getting Tommy John at the end of that year. And then just like, it's tough, man. Coming back from like Tommy John or like any sort of surgery, really, it's not an easy task. And like, I don't know, it's very frustrating to just like feel like you're putting all this work in and just not returning to the point that you're at. And I think, I don't know, some guys definitely have better success with that than others. I guess maybe I just wasn't a guy who had a super successful recovery, or maybe there was other things I could have done. Who knows? Mm-hmm. You know, I can sit here all day and spitball on the past, but that, I think it was just like, it felt like a real victory for me, for sure, to just go out there, do something different, and kind of find that like joy in baseball again, like from a playing aspect. Because I mean, obviously, like with last year's regional team, and you know, we were like a 40-win team or just about, and like obviously that was fun being a part of that. But it's different to be able to have fun like and play, you know. Mm-hmm. So that was just a great experience.
It's kind of different too for you because, you know, everybody knows you get that senior season, that seniors day kind of thing, all that comes along with it. And everybody talks about how you get ball out essentially. Here you are balling out in a completely different way. Like you're kind of getting right back to where it all began to a certain extent.
Yeah, I mean, that's a way of putting it, for sure. I mean, it's funny you mentioned senior day. Our senior day was one I won't forget for certain. I don't know if you heard about that, but we ended up getting, like, we had like benches cleared and everybody got suspended.
Oh, jeez.
On our senior day. So that was, you know, unfortunate timing for that, but
I hadn't heard that story, so you're gonna have to go on about it a little bit here.
Well, I don't know how much I should say. I'll leave names out of it, but basically, one of our guys kind of made not like a intentional. I don't think it was just kind of more of a reckless in the moment, sort of reckless reaction to a play, and that caused him to kind of get swarmed by the other, like a couple of the other guys on the other team, and then, you know, we had to jump out of the dugout. They jumped out of the dugout and ended in a double forfeit, and some guys got 4-game suspensions, and both the entire teams got 1-game suspensions, but they let you like stagger suspensions, I guess, in that situation. So we had a weird game. If you go look at the first game that we played against Fairfield this year, you'll see a very interesting lineup where we have a pitcher in right field and a pitcher DH starting on the mound, and I think 5 freshmen in the lineup. So
I think the Google searches and the YouTube searches are about to start as people are listening to this piece. I mean, obviously that's a crazy ride all on its own, but when you look back on the 4 years that you've spent over at Niagara, what stands out to you? What's maybe the biggest highlight or the coolest moment you had?
I mean, it's got to be hitting the cycle for sure. I mean, that's I don't know. I mean, I've had a lot of memorable ones on the mound as well. Like I remember getting my first like NCAA win in Asheville my first year, but it's that really just nothing compares to the cycle. I really didn't even think that was going to happen at all. I still can't really believe that it happened, mostly because I don't think I've ever hit a triple in my life. But
hey, there's a first time for everything. I mean, walk us through that last hit, though. When did you know, that was on the line in that moment, or was it something where it didn't really dawn on you until you got back to the dugout? Like, walk us through that whole progression.
Oh, no, I mean, I knew it the whole time, because I started the day, like, 3 for 3 with, I went the double, triple, and then the home run in that order. So going into my 4th at-bat, I knew I just needed the single. And then I won't lie, I got a little nervous. I struck out twice. So I went double, triple, home run, 2 strikeouts, and then finally was able to get that last single. And thankfully, I even got that last at-bat. It was kind of close. Like, if we grounded into a double play, I wouldn't have been able to get that at-bat. So I'm just glad that it worked out the way that it did.
Was it one of those hits where it's like a gapper and you're like, nope, I'm staying at first, or was it like a legit single?
No, it was just a very true single. In fact, like, all of them were pretty true hits. Maybe the triple, you know, I definitely got a little assist with some hot potato in center field, but other than that, yeah, they were pretty well true to the type of hit that it was.
That's fantastic. You and I were talking off air about the fact that it's been about 4 years since we last chatted. Episode 116 of the show, hard to believe. January of 2021. Take us into the time machine for a minute. And would 2021 Evan Wilde have ever imagined what 2025 Evan Wilde has been able to see and do over the last 4 years?
I think so, because I think Evan Wilde from January 21st of 4 years ago was probably a pretty big dreamer, honestly. I think at that point in time, I probably had some inclinations of being just the two-way guy at Niagara, and obviously sometimes things don't quite pan out as you think. And it turned out I never even hit, but in January, I wouldn't have known that for sure. I don't know. I think back on that, and I even got I got a start at first base when I was at Cloud as well, and that was when that whole season I was playing on a pretty busted up hamstring. I would be pitching, and I told Gilly, I was like, listen, if there's a ground ball at first base, I can't get over, He was like, that's all right, you just go pitch. I was like, okay. So, I think that kind of slowed down my momentum in the hitting department for sure, and then McCoy did ask me, at Niagara, he was like, do you want to hit? And I was just like, no, because honestly, I thought that my potential was just on the mound at that point in time, and I still think that was probably the right decision. And obviously things don't always turn out as you envision it, but it's a bit of a wild ride, and I guess who's to say whether I would have expected that 4 years ago or not.
For sure. Looking back on the collegiate career as a whole, what are you most proud of?
What am I most proud of? I think honestly, I've had a great opportunity. Being a very old collegiate baseball player by all standards, 6 years is a long time to spend in the sport at this level. And I think over the past couple of years, especially, I think I've been really fond of the opportunity to kind of be a leader on the team and provide some of that mentorship to the younger guys, because I think sometimes it's there's a lot of guys who show up to, at Niagara, I'm thinking specifically, they show up and they're younger guys with a lot of talent, but they might not necessarily know what to do with it, or they don't understand the amount of work that it will take, or just how big the gap is to, because just because I didn't play, I didn't get drafted, didn't play pro ball myself, doesn't mean that I haven't been around that level of talent and known how those guys work and what it takes to be that guy and get there. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what I would be most proud of, is just being able to, share my experience and knowledge with the younger guys and try and get their career on the path that they want, and help them see how to get there when they might not realize just how much effort or commitment that it takes, truly.
For sure. What's next for you? I know you're a graduate student and now you're graduated, so you got some plans either on the field or off the field?
Yeah, for right now, I'm just searching for some jobs, looking for something, hopefully a little research-based. Put my biology degree to good use. I'll be applying for medical school again this upcoming cycle, so hopefully that works out for me. So that would be great. But for now, just planning to apply to med school and work this next year.
Very cool. A couple more for you before we let you go. Benefit of hindsight with this question. Getting to chat with those young kids who are just starting out on their journeys, or maybe they're at the games and you've been able to impart some wisdom upon them over the years. What's your number one piece of advice, or those words of wisdom you want to impart upon them?
Man, I guess I think this obviously it's easy for when you're a kid playing the game, but I think back to when I was playing wiffle ball in the backyard and stuff, or just heading down to Fletcher Park in Airdrie, play little league games, and the excitement and the love for the game that you have is it's so easy. When you're young, it's just it's novel, it's exciting, and it's just so fun. and like the stakes never really feel that high. It just always feels like you're out there with your friends, just like having a great time. And I think as soon as you kind of start to lose that sort of backyard wiffle ball feeling is when it can feel like work. And when it feels like work, it's like you're not going to be as good, and you're just not going to have as much fun. And like ultimately, we're just, you're just men playing a kid's game. So if you forget that aspect of it, then I think you've lost something. So that's what I would say is, corny as it sounds, like just remember to have fun. It's a game at the end of the day, and can't take it for granted, really.
Absolutely. Final question we ask everybody here on the show. I can't remember if we actually asked this question back in January of 2021, but we'll get there. What does the game of baseball mean to you?
It means a lot, man. It means a lot. It's given me so many opportunities to travel all over the place, all over North America. So many like experiences, people I've met, connections, jokes, funny moments, all like great moments, like goosebumps, everything. It's like, it's a great experience. It's a blessing, really, and wouldn't trade it for anything, and wouldn't trade any of the friendships, connections I've made along the way for anything. I just, I don't know. I wonder if I'm sure I'll find my way back towards the game at some point, whether it's like, probably in the realm of coaching, I would imagine. Mm-hmm. But, it's, I think it's a great game. It just mimics life, honestly. I think more. I think all sports do, but I think baseball especially. I think the aspect of just a game of failure where one out of 3 times being successful puts you in the Hall of Fame makes it a very interesting game. Yeah, I had a coach earlier in my life describe it as, he said that baseball is chess on grass, but the pieces can fail. I still remember that. I just think like it's a very, very good way to describe the game. And what does it mean to me? I mean, I don't know. I've committed so much of my life to it, and I have no regrets for that. So I think that says enough.
Absolutely. Well, we really appreciate getting the chance to catch up with you after a stupendous collegiate career, and looking forward to seeing what's next in the journey there, Evan. Congrats on all the success, continued success as you move forward. And again, thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thanks again to Evan Morrison, Hunter Jones, Lou Anderson, and Evan Wilde for joining us this week. And thanks to all of you for downloading and listening. If you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast platform as new episodes drop every Thursday. We also hope to sprinkle in a few bonus episodes throughout the summer. A tip of the cap, as always, to our Platinum supporters, the Okotoks Dawgs, Western Canadian Baseball League, and Under the Lights Sports and Entertainment for all they do for us and for the game in our province. For more on our tremendous teammates or to join our roster, head to albertadugoutstories.com/supporters. Until next time, thank you for all of your support online, on social, and on air of Alberta Dugout Stories.